It's Monday, the 20th of May, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Adam Lang.
Good morning, Michael.
Adam, 5 stories to rip through in 5 minutes. Let's get going. Story number 1, superannuation funds are set for a bumper year in terms of member returns, with the median growth fund expected to provide an 8% lift for this financial year, and that's after a 9% bump last year.
Yes, Michael, superannuation is proving to be a very smart place to put your money, or at least it has been. While the median growth fund, on average, went backwards last month, the performance for the financial year so far in the face of so much economic and political uncertainty is impressive. And this is according to research house Chant West. A growth fund has between 61 and 80% in growth assets. That's equities, private debt, property, private equity, and things like that. At this point, it looks like 5 straight months of positive returns. There was a 1.7% decline in April and then another positive return this month. Now, if this lasts, the return for patient long-term investors in super over 2 years will be a very impressive 18%. And over the longer term, super funds continue to meet their risk and return objectives. And according to Chant West, are set to post a 13th positive return out of 15 years. High growth funds have posted a 10% return over the past year, while more conservative balanced funds have returned 6.3% on average.
Now, Adam, I love this story because compulsory superannuation, which was introduced in 1992, has proven to be a real success, not just because people are forced to save for retirement, but also because super products have actually provided good returns.
That's right, Michael. And since the introduction of compulsory super, the median growth fund has returned 7.9% per annum. That's, again, according to Chant West. The annual inflation increase over the same period is 2.7%, and that gives a real return of 5.2%. That's well above the typical 3.5% target. Even looking at the past 20 years, which includes 3 major share market downturns, the GFC in 2007 to 2009, COVID-19 in 2020, and the high inflation and rising interest rates of 2022, super funds have returned 7.2% per annum. Super is all about long-term, patient investing, and Michael, it's working.
On to story number 2 now, Adam. And corporate regulator ASIC has put Australia's banks on notice, saying some lenders, quote, effectively abandoned customers who are struggling with the cost of living crisis. ASIC says some home loan lenders have made accessing financial assistance so hard that more than 1 in 3 Australians actually dropped out of the application process at least once.
Michael, this is pretty alarming. ASIC reviewed 10 large home lenders, including the big 4 banks, Macquarie, Bendigo and Adelaide, ING, and a couple of non-bank lenders, and found that they should be doing more to support Australians struggling to meet their repayments. The report also found that 40% of customers who received hardship assistance through reduction or deferral of payments fell into arrears again right after the assistance period ended. And there are more customers actually needing help. In the last quarter of 2023, there was a 54% increase in the number of people contacting their lenders about difficulty making their home loan repayments. ASIC actually warned lenders last year that they needed to meet their obligations to customers experiencing financial hardship before even conducting this review. Chair Joe Longo has once again put lenders on notice, saying that where appropriate, ASIC will not hesitate to take enforcement action.
Story number 3, a very soft weekend for auctions, Adam, with the lowest preliminary clearance rate so far this year, equal actually to the Easter long weekend. CoreLogic reported the clearance rate across the capital cities came in at 71.1%. That's down 1.5% on last week.
Yeah, Michael, and fewer auctions were held this weekend, with 2,086 properties going under the hammer nationwide. That's down about 250 on last week, but up on the same time last year. Taking a quick look around the capital, Sydney preliminary clearance rate came in at 74.9%. That's the lowest in 4 weeks for Sydney. Melbourne had 68.4%, Brisbane 69.6%, almost 80% in Adelaide, and just 57.1% in Canberra. That's the lowest since February.
Story number 4, Westpac will require salaried workers earning up to $140,000 a year to fill out timesheets, but it isn't to check on employees, but to make sure the bank's actually not underpaying staff when they work excessive hours.
Yeah, Michael, the bank told staff about the time cards for employees that earn salaries between $90,000 and $140,000. That rolls up all conditions. They want the staff to record their actual hours worked and ensure that they receive the right entitlements. It's part of a broader change across the sector, following concerns that large amounts of unpaid overtime mean employees' pay risks dipping below minimum hourly rates. The Australian Financial Review is reporting that other banks and firms are either considering or already require salaried staff to record their hours. The Finance Sector Union, which is seeking further safeguards on overtime in negotiations for a new agreement with Westpac, welcomed the bank's move.
All right, on to the last one. Story number 5. The world's super rich club now has 15 members with fortunes over $100 billion, the most on record. And this is largely thanks to artificial intelligence, luxury goods, and geopolitical shifts. The combined net worth for these people is up 13% this year to $2.2 trillion, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, much higher than the pace of inflation and the broader stock market. Between them, Adam, they hold nearly a quarter of the wealth of the world's 500 richest people.
Michael, these numbers are staggering. L'Oreal heiress Françoise Bettencourt-Myers, Dell Technologies founder Michael Dell, and Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim have reached the milestone in the past 5 months. Bettencourt-Myers became the first woman to reach the mark after shares of the luxury cosmetics company jumped. The 70-year-old ranks 14th on the index with a net worth of $101 billion. The top 3 haven't changed. Number 1 is LVMH founder and chief executive officer Bernard Arnault. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is second, and at number 3 is Tesla's Elon Musk.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Monday, the 20th of May, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. If 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.